Chapter 1095. If you dare to move, I'll kill you. The chaotic situation had been brought under control, and the resurrected ones were mostly killed. Lin Moyu saw that some didn't even have time to self-detonate before being killed.
You actually dare to come back. Coming back alone, you're really not afraid of death. Since you're here, don't think about leaving. Although I don't know why those guys suddenly went crazy, it must be related to you.
The crowd roared angrily, filled with killing intent, and charged towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu pointed his finger, casting the fusion spell. Time Curse. This time, Lin Moyu used all his strength, and the curse enveloped a vast area of the starry sky, almost covering a radius of 100,000 kilometers. The starry sky instantly turned blood red, and even the light of the stellar fire was suppressed. Screams echoed one after another, and everyone suffered soul attacks. Although they weren't injured, the pain was unbearable. In the starry sky, a 1,000,000-meter-wide eye of the undead appeared, accompanied by the descent of the undead world. The gates of the undead world opened, and flames burned fiercely. Soul attacks followed one after another. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't hurt them, but at least he wouldn't let them have an easy time. Skeleton generals and death dragon knights surged out madly, and over 1,000,000 undead troops surrounded a large area of the starry sky. Terrifying sword energy seemed to tear the starry sky apart, and the stellar fire exploded into beautiful fireballs. Dragon breath ignited the starry sky, burning with the laws of the undead.
What is this? What kind of law is this? Such strong corrosive power. The law is filled with the aura of death. Is this the law of death? No, this power is stronger than the law of death. This is not a second-tier law. This is a first-tier law. And so many puppets, how does he have so many puppets? Is he a prince of the human race?
Nearly 100 peak true gods from various races were stunned by Lin Moyu alone. Sword energy crisscrossed, dazzlingly bright, and dragon breath covered the sky. The strong ones from various races were in the midst of it, their vision obstructed, and even their soul power couldn't extend out. The eye of the undead gazed at the entire scene. If anyone dared to extend their soul power, they would be attacked. Boom! A loud explosion sounded, followed by screams. Lin Moyu detonated a corpse, instantly killing one person. The corpses here were all of 9th stage true gods, enough to kill anyone present. The power of corpse explosion was extremely unreasonable, with the only limitation being distance. The spell itself had a range of only 400 meters, even with talent increasing it to kilometers. In the starry sky, 120 kilometers was almost face-to-face, nearly hugging each other. Whether it was the sword energy filling the starry sky or the omnipresent dragon breath, or the eye of the undead restricting soul power, all were prepared for corpse explosion. Corpse explosion was Lin Moyu's killing move prepared for these peak true gods. Boom! Another loud explosion, and amidst the screams, another peak true god was killed. Although soul power was difficult to extend, the death of someone, the disappearance of life force, was still sensed by other strong ones. The strong ones from various races immediately felt chills all over, their bodies cold. Lin Moyu had the power to kill them.
Break through.
A soul voice echoed in the starry sky, and someone began to try to break through. Lin Moyu sneered.
Too late.
In less than a minute, under the cover of sword energy and dragon breath, the 1,000,000 undead troops had already surrounded these people, layer upon layer, impenetrable. Trying to break through was almost impossible. At this moment, Lin Moyu held a small bead in his hand. He casually squeezed it, and the bead shattered with a bang. The entire space instantly became stable, which also meant that most teleportation talismans and similar items would be ineffective. Space-fixing bead can stabilize 1,000,000 kilometers of starry sky, within which the effects of teleportation items will be restricted. The space-fixing bead was one of Lin Moyu's spoils of war from recent days. He couldn't even remember from whom he got it. Recently, he had obtained too many random things, most of which were useless, with only a few being useful. He had 3 such space-fixing beads, each from different people, making them excellent tools for chasing down enemies. Feeling the power of the space-fixing bead, everyone felt a heavy heart. They knew that today's battle was truly a fight to the death. Not only could they not escape, but Lin Moyu also couldn't escape.
Kill!
Amidst the angry shouts, one soul after another materialized. Laws became armor, laws became bodies, protecting their souls as they launched a frenzied attack. Skeleton generals were shattered into pieces but immediately restored to their original state. Even with soul materialization, they still found it difficult to break through. The skeleton generals fought fearlessly. Even if they were to die, they would use their bones to trap the enemies. Boom! 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 Explosions continued to sound, and with everything in place, Lin Moyu had no more concerns and began the slaughter. The skeletons had already collected the corpses for Lin Moyu to use. Lin Moyu shuttled through the sword light and dragon breath, using the vision of the undead, unaffected by it. With each explosion, a life was extinguished.
Spare me. I have no enmity with the human race. I am not an enemy of the human race. Please spare me.
Some began to beg for mercy, but Lin Moyu ignored them, not intending to spare anyone. Even if some races had no old grudges with the human race, they had tried to kill him just now, creating new hatred. This was a battlefield, where old grudges and new hatreds were all paths to death. Lin Moyu was decisive in killing, never showing mercy to enemies. In the past, he had slaughtered cities with millions dying by his hand. A mere 100 people were nothing. In Lin Moyu's eyes, these people were no different from others. Even if you were strong and had a high realm, it was just a bit more troublesome, nothing more. A few minutes later, the battlefield was completely silent, with no survivors. Lin Moyu still had 20 corpses in hand, all collected. The corpses of peak true gods could even harm divine kings. If used well, they might even kill a divine king. The starry sky returned to silence, and Lin Moyu put away the undead troops, turning to fly back in the direction he came from. The battle there was still ongoing, with 10,000 skeleton generals fiercely attacking Nyoda. Nyoda's combat power was indeed strong, suppressing the skeleton generals. His heavy armor was dazzling with strong defense, blocking the sword energy of the skeleton generals. It was also thanks to his armor that Nyoda could withstand Yu Qingrou's sword. Seeing Lin Moyu's return, Nyoda sneered.
You're finally back.
He roared, and a small bull emerged from his head. Soul materialization. The small bull charged through the skeletons, rushing towards Lin Moyu. Nyoda excelled in physical laws, creating a bull shadow tens of thousands of meters high in the starry sky, seemingly about to crush Lin Moyu. But in the next second, Nyoda's face showed fear.
No!
Amidst the screams, an explosion sounded. Lin Moyu mercilessly used corpse explosion on him, using a 9th stage true god's corpse. Nyoda's soul nearly collapsed, and his soul armor was shattered into pieces. Nyoda fled back to his body in a panic. Terrified, he turned and fled. At this moment, Lin Moyu's voice echoed in his ears.
If you dare to move, I'll kill you.
1096. Chapter 1096. The Oath of the Great World. Serving for 100 years. Nyoda stood still, not daring to move. Even his breathing became lighter. He could feel that he was already locked onto by Lin Moyu. If he were to be attacked like just now, he would surely die. In the state of soul materialization, his soul armor was directly shattered, and his soul was injured. In his eyes, Lin Moyu was even more terrifying than Yu Qingru.
Great Bull Demon King, what kind of killing god have I provoked? Clearly only at the 2nd stage of the true god realm. How can he be so terrifying? Even more terrifying than that woman Yu Qingru.
Nyoda felt like crying but had no tears. He just wanted to go home now. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have come back. Now he didn't dare to move or leave. Lin Moyu walked up to Nyoda and looked him up and down. Nyoda was over 5 meters tall, much taller than the human race. When Lin Moyu first left the small world, He had seen a god of the Bull Demon clan. The god of the Bull Demon clan was over 10 meters tall, much taller than Yoda in front of him. It seemed that the Bull Demon clan had this characteristic. The stronger the power, the larger the body. Yoda felt uneasy under Lin Moyu's gaze, and sweat was already seeping from his forehead.
What are your orders?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
You are quite polite.
Yoda forced a smile that was uglier than crying.
In our Bull Demon clan, the strong are respected. You are stronger than me, so you deserve respect.
Lin Moyu laughed.
Your Bull Demon clan has no enmity with our human race. At least in the last Great War, your Bull Demon clan did not participate.
Yoda nodded quickly, snorting heavily from his large nostrils.
Yes, you are right. Our Bull Demon clan has no old grudges with the human race, and no recent.
He couldn't finish his sentence. Seeing Lin Moyu's half-smiling expression, Yoda realized that he had just been clamoring to kill Qian Huang. No recent grudges, how could he say that? Lin Moyu looked at him.
Good that you know. Now I give you two choices. 1. Swear an oath to the great world, serve me for 100 years, and I will set you free after 100 years. 2. I kill you now and set you completely free. All right, make your choice.
Lin Moyu gave Yoda no room for negotiation. With these two choices, anyone with a brain would know what to choose. The oath to the great world was not something to be taken lightly. It would invoke the laws of the oath and be supervised by the great world. If the oath was broken, the consequences would be very serious. Yoda asked,
You won't send me to my death, will you?
He cherished his life, so he gritted his teeth and asked. 100 years was not unacceptable. After all, he was at the peak of the true God realm, and 100 years was not too long. But if Lin Moyu kept sending him on life-threatening missions for 100 years, he might as well die now. Lin Moyu said,
My requirements are simple. I guarantee I won't send you to your death, I can promise that. As for whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. Do I have a choice? Then I will swear. Swear then, my name is Lin Moyu.
Lin Moyu said. Yoda's whole body surged with laws, and he began to swear. The oath to the great world was not something that could be achieved by just saying a few words. One had to invoke the laws of the whole body and then swear with the voice of the soul to succeed. Yoda's whole body surged with laws, and the voice of his soul echoed through the starry sky.
I, Yoda of the Bull Demon clan, hereby swear to serve Lin Moyu of the human race for 100 years from now. If I break this oath, I will die by the explosion of my laws.
In the starry sky, a mysterious force descended, and his voice gathered into a light ball in the starry sky, known as the Oath Ball. The laws of the oath appeared, leaving an imprint on the oath ball. Lin Moyu also left his imprint on it. Then the oath ball exploded and dissipated into the starry sky. Lin Moyu felt a connection between himself and Yoda, and he could even give orders to Yoda directly through his consciousness. What
are your orders, sir?
Lin Moyu said.
It's simple. Stay here and help me collect top-grade stellar fire. That's it.
Yoda was slightly stunned. He thought Lin Moyu would make him do something complicated and dangerous. Just collecting top-grade stellar fire in the 3rd stellar fire group. Was it that simple? Yoda couldn't believe it. He had been here for several years and was very familiar with the place. With his strength, he wasn't afraid of anyone here. Lin Moyu nodded.
Remember, I want you to collect, not absorb. When you collect the stellar fire, notify me, and I will come to take it.
Nilda responde.
Got it.
Lin Moyu nodded.
That's it then.
With that, he turned and left, disappearing into the starry sky in an instant. Yoda looked at Lin Moyu in wonder, sighing,
The human race has really produced an incredible genius.
Compared to Qian Huang, Lin Moyu was much more terrifying in Yoda's eyes. With curiosity, he flew back to the previous place. Just now, Lin Moyu had surrounded him with skeleton generals, and he had run away, not knowing what Lin Moyu had done. Returning to the place where the three-colored stellar fire was born, Nyoda's face changed instantly. The remnants of the battle were still there, with various laws colliding in the starry sky, unable to calm down for a long time. Nyoda's nose twitched, smelling the strong scent of blood. The Bull Demon clan had a keen sense of smell and could detect the scent of laws. Then he saw a large number of shattered corpses, all broken into pieces but still recognizable. These pieces belonged to different races, and Nyoda gasped. He realized that something must have happened here in the few minutes after Lin Moyu left him.
All the peak true gods of various races are dead, killed by Lin Moyu.
This thought suddenly came to Nyoda's mind, and the more he thought about it, the more likely it seemed. His hair stood on end, feeling a bit terrified. If he had been here at that time, would he have died too? Nyoda decided to obediently follow Lin Moyu's orders and collect stellar fire for him, to keep his life safe. This human was too terrifying, far more terrifying than he had imagined. Lin Moyu left the third stellar fire group and flew towards the fourth stellar fire group. This time, he had to fly across hundreds of billions of kilometers of void, which would take at least 40 days. If he encountered any unexpected events along the way, it would take even longer.
Hope I can encounter a flashing star.
Although Lin Moyu had a casual attitude, he still hoped to encounter a flashing star. After all, it could really enhance his physical body, a rare opportunity. Most races did not value the physical body, focusing more on the soul. But Lin Moyu believed that the physical body, as the carrier of the soul, was equally important. If possible, he hoped his physical body could be as strong as his soul. But for now, his physical body lagged far behind his soul. His soul had already reached the 4th grade, equivalent to the quality of a god's soul. But his physical body was still only at the super god level. If it weren't for the Heart of Flame continuously enhancing his physical body day by day, he might not even have a super god level physical body. For the human race, the enhancement of the physical body was passive, improving passively with overall enhancement. Generally speaking, the physical body would lag behind by 2 major realms. When reaching the Divine King realm, the physical body would reach the super god realm. The physical body of a god was only at the true god realm. Lin Moyu was now only 1 major realm behind, already surpassing most human cultivators. He continued to let the skeletons clear the way ahead, maintaining a distance of 1,000,000 kilometers. After flying for 2 days, Lin Moyu had already flown over 5 billion kilometers. Suddenly, his vision went black, and a vast force crashed into him. 1097. Yuchingru was hit hard by a flashing star, flying millions of kilometers away like a shooting star, her entire body feeling as if it was about to fall apart, unable to move. This impact from the flashing star was even more terrifying than the last one, almost reaching the Divine King realm. Even the undead army in the spell star collapsed once. If it weren't for his passive spells and talents sharing the damage, he would have been shattered to pieces. However, Lin Moyu saw a dark star with a diameter of over 1,000 kilometers flying in from the side at an astonishing speed, accurately hitting Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was knocked away again like a ball. The power of the dark star was much weaker compared to the flashing star. The flashing star carried a magical law, and the main impact came from this law. Lin Moyu endured the attack of the flashing star, and his skin, flesh, and bones became stronger, as if many impurities were squeezed out. Lin Moyu somewhat understood why most races did not like to cultivate the physical body. Because cultivating the physical body was too troublesome, from skin to flesh, then to bones, and even internal organs and bone marrow had to be cultivated one by one. It was not only time-consuming and laborious, but the effect was also not necessarily good. The most crucial point was that pure physical cultivation could not extend lifespan. No matter how strong the physical body was, it could not keep the soul immortal. Therefore, various races chose to cultivate the soul, continuously improving the soul's realm to extend life. Only with a long enough lifespan could one pursue higher realms. Cultivating the soul was the mainstream in the great world. Even those races with strong physical bodies, like the Dragon Clan, would not deliberately cultivate the physical body. Lin Moyu felt his physical body had strengthened again, almost reaching the third or fourth stage of the super god level.
Still weak. It would be great if there were more flashing stars and flashing fires. Let it be, can't force it.
Lin Moyu sighed and set off again. In the following 10 days, he did not encounter any more flashing stars. However, the skeletons clearing the way ahead encountered flashing stars 3 times in a row. Lin Moyu was helpless, feeling that his luck was not as good as the skeletons. If others heard his thoughts, they would probably be so angry they would spit blood. While others avoided flashing stars, Lin Moyu wanted more to come. As he got closer to the 4th stellar fire group, Lin Moyu noticed that the number of dark stars was gradually increasing, becoming denser. Dark stars were like assassins in the night, whistling back and forth, bringing death. Lin Moyu even had the illusion of entering a meteorite belt, with an astonishing number of dark stars. Suddenly, a violent fluctuation of laws came, and the space rippled. Lin Moyu sensed the laws and wondered,
Why are they space laws? Is Yi Qingru here?
there were very few people who could control space laws. Among all the people Lin Moyu had met, only Yu Qingru mastered space laws. At that time, Yu Qingru disappeared, and Lin Moyu did not know where she went. With her strength, she could indeed go to the 4th stellar fire group. With curiosity, Lin Moyu slightly changed direction and flew towards the source of the space laws. After flying tens of millions of kilometers, a large number of fragments suddenly flew from the distant sky. The fragments ranged from hundreds of meters in diameter to only a few dozen meters. These fragments were pieces of dark stars, densely packed like raindrops.
A dark star has been shattered.
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. He could also shatter dark stars, but it was laborious and unnecessary. Among the countless fragments, Lin Moyu saw a white figure.
It really is her. She seems to be in trouble.
Yu Qingru was flying in the starry sky with the fragments, her eyes closed, seemingly unconscious. Lin Moyu did not think much, summoning a large number of skeletons to block the fragments like rain. At the same time, he flew over and caught Yu Qingru. Yu Qingru was indeed unconscious, her whole body wrapped in space laws, preventing the fragments from approaching. However, this unconscious use of space laws could not harm Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu caught her and checked, finding her body severely injured, with a force rampaging inside her. If her body were not strong enough, she would have been shattered to pieces.
It's a flashing star.
Lin Moyu immediately recognized that she had been hit by a flashing star. A force of the undying law flew out, entering her body. The force of life healed her injuries, but the power of the flashing star in her body could only be absorbed by herself. The power of the flashing star continuously damaged her body, while the force of life from the undying law continuously healed her body. After half a day, the power of the flashing star in Yu Qingru's body was finally exhausted. Lin Moyu immediately withdrew the force of life and retreated a distance. He knew Yu Qingru would wake up soon, and it was better to avoid any misunderstandings. Without him, it would have taken Yu Qingru 10 days to half a month to absorb the power of the flashing star. During this process, Lin Moyu was also surprised by Yu Qingru's strong physical body. Her physical body had reached the true god realm much stronger than his. He wondered if she had been cultivating her physical body or if the physical bodies of the Starfish clan were inherently strong. Yu Qingru's aura grew stronger, and the space laws around her gradually disappeared. With a groan, Yu Qingru opened her eyes. She saw Lin Moyu not far away, and the confusion in her eyes quickly disappeared.
Why are you here?
She seemed unaware of what had happened, and Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief.
I was passing by and saw you unconscious, so I stayed to make sure you were okay.
Yu Qingru's eyes filled with a smile.
You didn't do anything bad to me, did you?
Her voice was soft like a girl acting coy, but if anyone thought she was acting coy, they would probably be hit by space laws in the next second. Lin Moyu looked at her calmly.
Do you want me to do something or not?
Yu Qingru snorted.
You have no sense of humor, not fun at all. Anyway, thank you this time. I owe you a favor. But your debt to me still stands. They don't cancel each other out.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
As you wish. Tell me what happened. With your strength, how did you end up unconscious?
Yu Qingru sighed.
Bad luck, I encountered double flashing stars. I only found one flashing star, but it turned out to be double flashing stars, a miscalculation.
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised and caught Yu Qingru's words.
You mean you found the flashing star? Can flashing stars be found?
Yu Qingru said.
Yes, but you can't.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment and guessed.
Is it because of space laws?
Yu Qingru giggled.
You guessed right. It's because of space laws. I can sense flashing stars through space laws and predict where they will appear. But why do you want to find flashing stars? Your human race doesn't seem to cultivate the physical body.
Lin Moyu said.
Just because others don't cultivate the physical body doesn't mean I don't. Is there really no other way besides space laws? Of course.
Yu Qingru deliberately dragged her voice.
There is a way.
She threw a shell to Lin Moyu, and he could feel the aura of space laws from it. Yu Qingru said.
This is a treasure I personally refined. It can sense flashing stars within 500,000 kilometers. Consider it a thank you for helping me.
1098. Chapter 1098. Are you afraid this princess will eat you? Lin Moyu watched Yu Qingru disappear into the distance, feeling a bit amused. This proud princess of the Starfish clan repaid her debt quickly, seizing the opportunity to return the favor. However, the favor he owed her was something he had to keep dragging on, not allowing it to be repaid. But to be honest, the shell was indeed useful to him. Using the shell, he could conveniently locate flashing stars to enhance his physical body. Lin Moyu held the shell, which looked ordinary and unremarkable, still seemingly warm.
This shell, could it be her personal belonging?
This thought flashed through his mind, and Lin Moyu activated the shell with a slight movement of his soul power. The shell emitted a faint glow, hazy and beautiful. If a flashing star appeared within a radius of 100,000 kilometers, the shell would point the direction with light. Lin Moyu held the shell and continued towards the fourth stellar fire group, paying attention to the changes in the shell. After Lin Moyu left, Yu Qingru appeared in the starry sky. She had actually been there all along, just in a different space-time from Lin Moyu, who hadn't noticed her presence. But Lin Moyu's self-talk was clearly heard by her. A blush appeared on Yu Qingru's beautiful face, slightly annoyed.
Why did you have to say it out loud?
The shell was indeed her personal belonging, and even if Lin Moyu knew, he shouldn't have said it. At that time, she didn't know what she was thinking, giving her personal shell to Lin Moyu. Now thinking about it, she found it a bit unbelievable. Yu Qingru watched Lin Moyu disappear into the starry sky, then took out a pearl. The pearl was white and round, shining beautifully in the starry sky. This pearl was also her personal belonging, never leaving her side. She activated the pearl using a unique method of the Starfish clan, and the pearl projected an image in the starry sky. The image recorded the events of the past few days, and she carefully watched what happened after she fell unconscious. She saw herself being hit by two flashing stars, their power almost collapsing her body. Fortunately, a dark star appeared, and she used its force to redirect some of the flashing star's power, shattering the dark star. But the immense impact, along with the force from the dark star, caused her to fall unconscious. It was indeed Lin Moyu who saved her and helped her recover. Otherwise, she would have remained unconscious for at least 10 days to half a month, unable to recover so quickly. Lin Moyu's method of saving her seemed very magical, possessing healing abilities. Yu Qingru felt a warmth on her back, where she had been in contact with Lin Moyu, her face turning even redder. Seeing the end, when she was about to wake up, Lin Moyu quickly retreated. She knew why Lin Moyu did this, to avoid any misunderstanding.
Coward, does this princess look like she would eat you?
Yu Qingru stomped her foot, seemingly a bit angry. The space laws under her feet caused large cracks to appear in the starry sky. After a moment of anger, she snorted softly.
Interesting guy. See you again if fate allows.
With that, her body became illusory and disappeared. After flying billions of kilometers, the shell in Lin Moyu's hand suddenly became brilliant. The light formed an arrow pointing in a direction. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu flew in the direction indicated by the shell. The arrow grew shorter and shorter until it completely disappeared, and Lin Moyu knew he had reached the designated location. The starry sky here seemed calm, with dark stars occasionally flying by tens of thousands of kilometers away, with no sign of flashing stars. Lin Moyu chose to trust the shell's guidance, which also meant trusting Yu Qingru. After waiting quietly for half an hour, the surrounding space suddenly fluctuated. Lin Moyu, who had been stationary in the starry sky, was suddenly hit and flew out tens of thousands of kilometers at an astonishing speed. A flashing star flashed through the starry sky, lasting only 0.01 seconds before disappearing again. Lin Moyu's entire body felt like it was falling apart, the power of the flashing star tearing through his flesh and rampaging inside his body. But after the rampage, his physical body would become stronger. Lin Moyu quickly recovered, standing quietly in the starry sky, his eyes filled with joy and excitement.
It really can locate the position of flashing stars.
This time, the flashing star's impact once again significantly enhanced his physical strength. Using the shell's guidance, he no longer needed to fly around aimlessly like a headless chicken. Efficiency would greatly improve. Yu Qingru had indeed done him a great favor, and Lin Moyu's opinion of her changed, thinking she was actually quite nice. Although she had the pride of a princess and that aloof, playful gaze, she had indeed helped him.
This favor, it seems, won't be easy to repay.
Lin Moyu sighed softly, stopped thinking about it, and continued forward with the shell in hand. Following the original route, Lin Moyu continued towards the fourth stellar fire group, while also searching for the positions of flashing stars along the way. Both the top-grade stellar fire and the flashing stars were of great use to him. Lin Moyu didn't want to give up on either. Along the way, Lin Moyu found several more flashing stars, each impact painful but something he gladly endured. It was truly a case of pain and pleasure. Finally, after flying for more than 70 days, Lin Moyu entered the domain of the fourth stellar fire group. Ahead were countless star lights, dazzling and beautiful, far exceeding any stellar fire group he had seen before in both quantity and range. The fourth stellar fire group was covered by the laws of the great world, spanning 5 billion kilometers. In contrast, the first, second, and third stellar fire groups only covered a range of 1 billion kilometers. The difference in the range covered by the laws of the great world was significant. Lin Moyu felt the dense laws of the great world in the starry sky, sensing the difference. The fourth stellar fire group was vastly different from what he had seen before. The laws of the great world here were more intense and suppressive. Whether a divine sovereign or a divine king, once here, they would be no different from an ordinary peak true god. Lin Moyu's eyes sparkled, thinking that if a divine sovereign of the stellar fire clan came here, he might have a chance to kill them. Within the true god realm, he feared no one. He still had nearly 20 peak true god corpses in his hand, all of which were his weapons. At this moment, the shell in his hand lit up again, forming an arrow. The arrow pointed towards the stellar fire group. Lin Moyu was initially surprised, then delighted.
Could it be that the shell can also guide me to the position of flashing fire?
Along the way, he had been hit by flashing stars no less than 10 times, significantly enhancing his physical body, almost reaching the limit of the super god realm. But the flashing stars only strengthened his skin, flesh, and bones. As for his internal organs, bone marrow, and blood, they needed the enhancement of flashing fire. Otherwise, having only a strong exterior would always be a flaw. The combination of flashing stars and flashing fire was the perfect body refinement. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu flew in the direction indicated by the shell. After flying tens of thousands of kilometers, Lin Moyu reached his destination and sat cross-legged in the void, waiting quietly. 1099. Chapter 1099. A different fourth stellar fire group. A flame appeared silently, flashing in the starry sky. Lin Moyu noticed it was similar to a flashing star, with a duration of less than 0.01 seconds. But this 0.01 second was enough to burn most true gods to death. The scorching flame carried mysterious laws, rising from within the body, first burning the internal organs and then penetrating the bone marrow. Lin Moyu's entire body emitted heat, and his body temperature instantly rose above 100,000 degrees. If this temperature came from the outside, true gods could ignore it. But if it erupted from within, most true gods would find it hard to endure. For most true gods who haven't cultivated their physical bodies, their physical strength is not even at the super god level and remains fragile. Lin Moyu, relying on his passive spells, weakened and distributed the damage, enduring the burning of the flashing fire without a scratch. After the hellish experience came paradise. After the burning, the heat turned into coolness. His internal organs became purer and stronger. His heart beat more powerfully, each beat releasing a large amount of blood energy, making his body stronger. It seemed that under the effect of the flashing fire, the heart of flame also became stronger. The heart of flame could also refine the body, but it required a lot of time. However, the flashing star and flashing fire significantly shortened the required time, completing processes in a short time that would otherwise take hundreds or thousands of years. Lin Moyu took a deep breath and continued forward, holding the shell. He had confirmed that the shell could also guide him to the location of flashing fire, which was an enormous gain for him. At the same time, he realized that the favor he owed seemed to be growing larger. Repaying kindness and avenging enmity were Lin Moyu's principles. Owing such a large favor, Lin Moyu didn't know how to repay it. Lin Moyu began to fly towards the fourth stellar fire group. The distance of 5 billion kilometers allowed him to find 2 more flashing fires along the way. The number of flashing fires seemed to be more than flashing stars and easier to find. The fourth stellar fire group rapidly enlarged before his eyes, and the temperature sharply increased. When he was still tens of millions of kilometers away, the temperature had already exceeded 1 million degrees. Moreover, as he got closer, the temperature continued to rise. At this temperature, just standing here would ignite and burn a super god level being to death. Lin Moyu estimated that when the distance was reduced to 1 million kilometers, the temperature would exceed 10 million degrees. At that point, even ordinary true gods would find it very uncomfortable. As he continued to approach, the temperature kept rising, making it impossible for even ninth-stage true gods to move forward. Lin Moyu stopped when he was still 50 million kilometers away, not continuing to approach. It wasn't because of the astonishing high temperature. The high temperature was unrelated to the laws and was purely caused by fire elements, to which Lin Moyu was completely immune. Whether it was 10 million degrees or even 100 million degrees, as long as it was unrelated to the laws, it wouldn't affect him at all, because he saw a different scene here. Outside the fourth stellar fire group, there were 2 huge fire rings. The fire rings were like the asteroid belts around some stars, horizontally and vertically enveloping the entire stellar fire group. From this perspective, the stellar fire group looked like a whole, completely different from what he had seen before. The fire rings were densely packed with stellar fires, flying at astonishing speeds within the rings. Lin Moyu sensed danger from the fire rings, so he stopped. Without confirming safety, Lin Moyu didn't want to take risks. With a thought, he sent out 100 skeleton god warriors to fly towards the stellar fire group. The skeleton god warriors scattered midway, flying in different directions. Like Lin Moyu, the skeleton god warriors could ignore the high temperature. As long as they weren't directly hit by the stellar fires, they wouldn't be in danger. The journey was uneventful, and the skeleton god warriors quickly approached the fire rings, with only 100,000 kilometers left. Suddenly, the fire rings moved, and a large number of stellar fires flew out, raining down on the skeleton god warriors. The speed of the stellar fires was extremely fast, far surpassing the speed of the skeleton god warriors. 100,000 kilometers was covered in the blink of an eye. The skeleton god warriors had no way to avoid it and could only take it head-on. The power of the stellar fires was immense, containing strong fire laws, directly burning the skeletons to ashes. The 100 skeleton god warriors sent by Lin Moyu were instantly burned to death, without exception. Through the information returned by the skeletons, Lin Moyu analyzed the situation. The speed of the stellar fires was at least 60,000 kilometers per second, more than double that of the skeleton god warriors, making it difficult to dodge. The attack power of the stellar fires was very strong, reaching the peak of the true god realm, which the skeleton god warriors couldn't withstand. Moreover, there were at least millions of stellar fires in the two fire rings, possibly exceeding 10 million, making it impossible to push through with numbers. After some analysis, Lin Moyu realized that to break through, he would have to withstand the attacks of the stellar fires. But this level of attack was something ordinary peak true gods couldn't endure. Among the people he had met, neither Qian Huang nor Nyoda seemed capable of it. Yuqin Gru should be able to handle it. From this, he deduced that very few cultivators could operate within the fourth stellar fire group. Every peak true god who could operate here must have the strength to fight across realms, with combat power reaching the Divine King realm. Another possibility was that Divine Kings, enduring the suppression of their cultivation, came here. The reason Divine Kings came here was simple: to seek top-grade stellar fires. Like true gods, Divine Kings also needed top-grade stellar fires to enhance their spell levels. Once they reached the Divine Sovereign Realm, their spell levels would be fixed. Except for extremely rare heaven-defying treasures, it was almost impossible to further enhance spell levels. So they had to come here to find top-grade stellar fires before the door closed. However, upon arriving here, the Divine King's realms would be suppressed to the peak of the true god realm. If the Divine Kings weren't geniuses themselves, their combat power would only be at the peak of the true god realm, possibly even inferior to those geniuses who could fight across realms. Divine Kings might even be killed by peak true gods here, so the number of Divine Kings coming here wasn't large. Based on the data and the current situation, Lin Moyu concluded that he shouldn't face too much danger here.
Let's see if I can encounter any geniuses from other races.
Lin Moyu chuckled, spreading his wings of the undead, stepping on the light-speed low ring, and shooting forward like a meteor. The fire rings gradually enlarged in his vision, and the stellar fires within became clearly visible. When the distance was reduced to 100,000 kilometers, the stellar fires in the fire rings shot out, aiming at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't dodge, directly crashing into them. He had confidence in his defense and wasn't afraid at all. The stellar fires landed on Lin Moyu, burning fiercely, turning him into a man of fire. Wrapped in stellar fires, Lin Moyu continued to fly forward at high speed. The attacks of peak true gods were nothing to Lin Moyu. All the damage was weakened and transferred to the undead army. The undead army bore all the damage, with the Lich General continuously healing within the spell star. As long as the attack power didn't reach the Divine King realm, unable to instantly collapse the undead army, Lin Moyu could endure indefinitely. Even standing within the stellar fires, bathing in the fires, wouldn't be a problem. 1,100. Shu Lin Moyu transformed into a fireball, crossed the fire rings, and rushed into the stellar fire group. The flames on his body were instantly extinguished, and the stellar fires left, returning to the fire rings. The two fire rings were like two gatekeepers, testing everyone who wanted to enter. If you passed the test, you could enter. If you failed, you would be burned to ashes. Once an intruder made a decision, there was no chance to regret it. Lin Moyu passed the test and smoothly entered the stellar fire group. As he expected, the temperature here reached tens of millions of degrees, far beyond what a true god could endure. Ordinary true gods couldn't survive here. Only those geniuses with the strength to fight across realms or those who suppressed their cultivation to the Divine King realm could operate here.
Even the fourth stellar fire group is so terrifying. If there is a fifth or even a sixth stellar fire group, what kind of people could pass through? If I go, can I withstand it?
Thinking of this possibility, Lin Moyu couldn't help but sweat for his boldness. One can be bold, but not reckless. For cultivators, boldness is necessary, but caution is also required. If you are timid, you will never reach the peak. If you lose caution, you may die at any time and won't live long. There were many stellar fires here. With a casual glance, there were hundreds, seemingly easy to collect. There was no need to fight to the death for a single stellar fire like in the first and second stellar fire groups. Those who had the ability to come here generally didn't care about ordinary stellar fires. They wanted top-grade stellar fires, not just 3-colored spirit fires, but preferably 4-colored or even 5-colored spirit fires. Only such fires could elevate planetary-level spells to stellar-level spells. Lin Moyu was also searching for top-grade spirit fires. While moving, he scanned the stellar fire group. Top-grade stellar fires are formed by the convergence of ordinary stellar fires. Once they appear, there will be a commotion, making them easy to find. Moreover, the number of stellar fires here was astonishing, making the birth of top-grade stellar fires highly likely. Lin Moyu searched along the edge of the stellar fire group, following his habit of narrowing the range from the outermost to the innermost circle. After searching for half a day, almost flying halfway around the stellar fire group, he found nothing. Instead, the shell in his hand suddenly lit up. An arrow of light pointed forward.
Is there a flashing fire here?
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. Although he hadn't found a top-grade stellar fire, finding a flashing fire was also good. His physical body had reached the limit of the super god level. With a few more encounters, he could break through to the true god level. By then, he would have both a true god-level soul and body, significantly enhancing his combat power, especially his defense. Following the shell's guidance, Lin Moyu quickly reached his destination. But he was a step late. The flashing fire had already appeared. The flashing fire flickered less than 10,000 kilometers away from him.
Too late.
Lin Moyu sighed. After all, this was the stellar fire area, and he wasn't moving in a straight line, nor could he move at top speed, causing a delay of a few seconds. Just these few seconds cost him the chance to be refined by the flashing fire. But Lin Moyu felt something was wrong. The flashing fire appeared right where a stellar fire was located. The flashing fire and the stellar fire collided, merging. Then the stellar fire mutated, emitting a strange aura. This aura had a strong attraction, like a magnet, drawing a large number of surrounding stellar fires. The stellar fires gathered together, beginning to sublimate and transform into a top-grade stellar fire.
So that's how it is.
Lin Moyu finally understood how top-grade stellar fires were formed. It turned out that the collision of flashing fire and ordinary stellar fire caused the ordinary stellar fire to mutate, attracting other stellar fires. Eventually, a top-grade stellar fire was born.
No wonder top-grade stellar fires are so hard to come by. The root cause is the flashing fire. Flashing fires are rare, and they must collide with ordinary stellar fires, with enough surrounding stellar fires to absorb and gather.
Lin Moyu imagined the entire process, realizing the low probability. Watching the stellar fires continuously fly over and join in, Lin Moyu thought of another possibility. If he added more stellar fires, like adding fuel to a fire, could it become stronger? A 3-colored spirit fire requires the convergence of 100 ordinary stellar fires. A 4-colored spirit fire requires 200 ordinary stellar fires. A 5-colored spirit fire requires 400 ordinary stellar fires. If there were only 100 stellar fires around, only a 3-colored spirit fire could be born. If more stellar fires were added, could a 4-colored or even 5-colored spirit fire be created? For example, placing an ordinary stellar fire where a flashing fire is expected to appear. After it mutates, even if there are no surrounding stellar fires, as long as he has enough stellar fires on hand to supply it, could he artificially create a top-grade stellar fire? Lin Moyu was startled by his bold idea. But thinking carefully, it seemed feasible. Lin Moyu had always been bold, acting on his thoughts. He had plenty of stellar fires. In the 3rd stellar fire group, he had killed over 100 peak true gods. All the stellar fires they had accumulated over the years were his. When he counted the stellar fires, even he was shocked. The number of stellar fires exceeded 10,000. A total of 11,083 stellar fires lay quietly in his storage space, stored in various containers. Around the mutating top-grade stellar fire, 160 ordinary stellar fires had been attracted. If nothing unexpected happened, a 3-colored spirit fire would form in a day or two. Lin Moyu added 50 stellar fires to it, and the flames instantly surged. The originally 100-kilometer starry sky turned into a sea of fire, expanding to 1,000 kilometers. The momentum and scale were completely different, not on the same level. Lin Moyu knew that this time, a 4-colored spirit fire would be born.
It seems the method is feasible.
Lin Moyu didn't continue adding stellar fires. Knowing the method worked, there was no need to rush. Flashing fires were found in many places and weren't particularly hard to find. Moreover, there should be others here. The aura of the top-grade spirit fire might attract others. A battle would be inevitable, and without knowing the strength of the enemies, Lin Moyu wasn't kind enough to make wedding clothes for others. He waited quietly, watching the entire process of the spirit fire forming. The 4-colored spirit fire formed faster than he expected. The 3-colored spirit fire took 3 days to form. He thought the 4-colored spirit fire would take longer, but it was faster. In just 1 day, the 4-colored spirit fire was almost formed. The sea of fire quickly shrank, leaving only a 100-meter diameter flame. Red, orange, yellow, and green lights appeared simultaneously in the flame. The 4-colored spirit fire, with one more color than the 3-colored spirit fire, had several times the effect, with a chance to elevate planetary-level spells to stellar-level spells. 1101 1101. Chapter 1101. Someone like Lin Moyu is truly terrifying. The 4-colored spirit fire gradually took shape in Lin Moyu's eyes. Lin Moyu witnessed the entire process, which was exactly as he had anticipated, and everything went smoothly. He was confident that he could nurture 4-colored, 5-colored, and even 6-colored spirit fires. Lin Moyu did not take action but softly said,
"It's about time to make a move."
As the 4-colored spirit fire was about to form, he sensed that someone had arrived, and it wasn't just one person. So Lin Moyu didn't act. He didn't want to be the clam, preferring to be the fisherman. Sure enough, just as the 4-colored spirit fire fully formed, a giant tiger claw appeared in the starry sky without warning, grabbing at the 4-colored spirit fire. The tiger claw stirred up a fierce wind, and the aura of laws permeated the starry sky. For a moment, the starry sky was filled with howling winds, like thousands of wind blades cutting through the space. Lin Moyu retreated a distance to avoid the chaos, not worried that the 4-colored spirit fire would be taken away. He wasn't the only one eyeing the spirit fire.
Big bug, courting death.
With an angry shout, an arrow shot through the starry sky, accurately pinning the tiger claw. The tiger claw exploded, and the arrow continued its trajectory, flying towards a stellar spirit fire thousands of miles away. The stellar spirit fire was hit by the arrow and also shattered into pieces. A miserable cry echoed, and a giant white tiger appeared behind the stellar spirit fire. White Tiger Clan, Lin Moyu observed, knowing that the White Tiger Clan was a powerful race in the Great World. The White Tiger Clan member in front of him was not weak, clearly at the peak of the true god realm. That claw just now had almost reached the divine king realm. Unfortunately, the arrow that followed was even stronger, not only shattering the tiger claw but also injuring the White Tiger Clan member. The White Tiger Clan member roared,
"Su Jianqing, how dare you ambush me?"
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. He actually called himself a king. It seemed his true strength should be at the divine king level, coming here to seek the top-grade stellar spirit fire. Lin Moyu looked to the other side, where a person holding a strong bow flew over from the starry sky. Su Jianqing, a human. Su Jianqing calmly drew another arrow and placed it on the bow.
"Do I need to ambush you? The last arrow was just a warning. Believe it or not, this arrow can take your life.
Su Jianxing's voice was not loud, as if stating a fact, telling the other party that if this arrow was shot, he would die. The white tiger was clearly a bit scared, and his huge tiger body couldn't help but tremble. The white tiger stared at Su Jianxing with eyes full of anger.
Fine, I admit defeat this time. Don't let me see you outside, or I will tear you apart.
Leaving a harsh word, the white tiger turned and left without any hesitation. Su Jianxing looked at the starry sky, his gaze becoming sharp.
Everyone, will you leave on your own, or do you want me to send you off?
In the starry sky, it wasn't just the white tiger. There were others hiding, but no one answered Su Jianxing's question. Su Jianxing shook his head and smiled.
Since that's the case, I apologize.
He drew his bow fully, and powerful laws flowed through the bow and arrow.
This arrow is called Soul Shot. Please receive it.
An arrow shot out, exploding in the starry sky, turning into countless starlights. The starlights merged into the starry sky and disappeared. Immediately, miserable cries echoed, and those hiding were revealed, shot out by Su Jianxing's arrow.
Su Jianxing, just wait, I won't let you off. Don't think that just because you can fight across realms, you can do whatever you want. If we meet outside, I'll grind your bones to dust. Su Jianxing, I will remember this arrow, and I will repay it in the future.
One by one, the strong beings of different races left harsh words, but without exception, they all left quickly. Su Jianxing laughed loudly.
We will meet again, take care, I won't see you off.
Su Jianxing's arrow drove away all the different races, showing immense strength, including those who could fight across realms at the peak of the true god realm, and those whose realms were suppressed to the divine king level. Lin Moyu observed, knowing that Su Jianxing's arrow was truly powerful. The arrow lived up to its name, directly targeting the soul. Those who were hit by the arrow had their souls more or less injured. Su Jianxing's arrow split into many. If it targeted one person, it would likely be a sure kill. Su Jianxing turned to look at Lin Moyu, his eyes slightly brightening.
Little brother, what is your name?
Lin Moyu politely cupped his fists towards Su Jianxing.
Junior Lin Moyu, greetings to Senior.
Su Jianxing laughed heartily.
No need for Senior this and Senior that. We humans are all disciples of the human emperor. Just call me Senior brother.
Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony and changed his address.
Senior brother Su, your arrow driving away the different races was truly domineering.
Su Jianxing was modest, his smile hearty.
Junior brother Lin, you're joking. In fact, I can't shoot many arrows like that. If they didn't leave, we would be the ones running.
Su Jianxing's words sounded sincere, but Lin Moyu knew he was being modest. Such a person must have some tricks up his sleeve. Lin Moyu politely said,
Senior brother Su is too modest. I believe that even if it came to a fight, Senior brother Su could kill a few and leave calmly.
Su Jianxing laughed heartily.
Junior brother Lin is right. That's why they didn't want to die and had to leave.
Lin Moyu smiled.
So, it shows that Senior brother Su is strong enough, and they are afraid of death.
Su Jianxing continued.
Actually, the truly powerful one is Junior brother Lin. Junior brother Lin, at the second stage of the true god realm, coming here is enough to prove your strength. The fire rings outside are not something ordinary people can pass through.
Su Jianxing was insightful. Seeing a divine king here was not scary, nor was seeing a peak true god who could fight across realms. The truly terrifying ones were people like Lin Moyu. Their realm was low, but their combat power was frightening. Such people were the real geniuses, and once they grew, they would be truly formidable opponents. All races wanted to eliminate such geniuses when they saw them. Otherwise, they could become a major threat. Lin Moyu smiled.
I was just lucky.
Su Jianxing shook his head.
Junior brother Lin, no need to be overly modest. But be careful here. Many have noticed you and want to eliminate you.
Lin Moyu had already sensed killing intent more than once. He knew those people wanted to kill him, but was he that easy to kill? Even here, where everyone was just a true god, facing a real divine king, it was still uncertain who would win. Su Jianxing's concern was genuine, and Lin Moyu felt it.
Thank you, Senior Brother Su. I will be careful.
Su Jianxing said.
Junior Brother Lin, go absorb the spirit fire. I will guard you.
Lin Moyu was puzzled.
Senior Brother Su doesn't want it?
Su Jianxing shook his head.
The four-colored spirit fire is useless to me.
Lin Moyu understood.
It seems Senior Brother Su's spells are very strong.
The stronger the spells, the stronger the spirit fire needed. Not only Su Jianxing, but even Lin Moyu wasn't sure if the four-colored spirit fire would be useful to him. Suddenly, Su Jianxing shouted,
Courting death.
He quickly drew his bow and nocked an arrow. As he did, a figure appeared next to the four-colored spirit fire. With a single hand, the figure grabbed the four-colored spirit fire. The 100-meter-long four-colored spirit fire rapidly shrank. At this moment, Su Jianxing's killing arrow shot out. Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow, wanting to stop it, but it was too late. The one who suddenly appeared to seize the spirit fire was none other than Yu Qingru. Facing Su Jianxing's arrow, Yu Qingru was fearless, also swinging her sword. 1102 Chapter 1102. Beginning to cultivate the five-colored spirit fire. Suddenly, large cracks appeared in the starry sky, and space was torn apart. Yu Qingru's sword strike was incredibly powerful, even stronger than the one she used against Lin Moyu.
She seems to have become stronger again.
Lin Moyu felt that Yu Qingru had grown stronger since their last encounter. The sword light intercepted Su Jianxing's arrow, and the sword light and arrow were locked in a stalemate in the starry sky. Yu Qingru had already grasped the four-colored spirit fire in her hand and laughed.
Your archery is good, but it still needs improvement.
Su Jianxing chuckled.
Thank you for the compliment.
Lin Moyu saw him draw his bow again, but this time no arrow appeared. Instead, a phantom longbow suddenly appeared on the arrow that was locked in a stalemate with the sword light. As Su Jianxing drew his bow in the void, the phantom longbow on the arrow was also fully drawn, and then it was released again. The arrow seemed to gain a second wave of power, instantly shattering Yu Qingru's sword light and whistling towards her, closing the distance in an instant. Yu Qingru exclaimed softly,
I underestimated you.
She swung her sword, sending out several sword lights in succession. Su Jianxing shouted,
Explode!
The arrow exploded with a terrifying force that swept through the starry sky. Yu Qingru let out a cry and then disappeared. Along with her disappearance, the four-colored spirit fire also vanished. Yu Qingru had escaped, and Lin Moyu saw that she seemed to be injured. Su Jianxing sighed.
Such powerful laws, yet she managed to escape.
Lin Moyu said,
She controls the laws of space, coming and going without a trace. It's very difficult to capture her.
Su Jianxing looked at Lin Moyu in surprise.
Junior Brother Lin, do you know her?
Lin Moyu nodded.
I met her in the third Stellar Fire group. She calls herself Yu Qingru, a princess of the Starfish clan, and she controls the laws of space.
Su Jianxing showed a look of realization.
No wonder the Starfish clan is mysterious and powerful. However, they have always been aloof from worldly affairs. I didn't expect to see one here. It's a pity that Junior Brother Lin's four-colored spirit fire was taken. I couldn't stop her.
Lin Moyu smiled.
If it can be taken, it means it wasn't meant for me. There will be other opportunities.
Su Jianxing laughed heartily.
Indeed, Junior Brother Lin's mindset is very correct. If it's meant to be, it will be. If not, don't force it.
Su Jianxing was carefree but not indifferent to everything. On the contrary, he believed in striving for what he wanted, but he didn't care much about the outcome. After striving, whether he could obtain it or not was not that important. Su Jianxing said to Lin Moyu,
Junior Brother Lin, are you planning to continue searching for spirit fires here? Yes.
Su Jianxing frowned slightly.
Then Junior Brother Lin, you must be careful. Those guys might come looking for trouble.
Lin Moyu was not worried. If they came looking for trouble, he might have to stain his hands with blood again. From Su Jianxing's words, Lin Moyu sensed that he seemed to be leaving. Su Jianxing indeed planned to leave. He wanted to go deeper. He had said that the four-colored spirit fire was of no use to him. What he needed was the five-colored, or even six-colored spirit fire. However, the possibility of a five-colored spirit fire being born here was very low. According to Su Jianxing, the naming of the first stellar fire group was not random. Among the top-grade stellar fires, the lowest grade was the three-colored spirit fire, and the earliest place they appeared was the third stellar fire group. In the third stellar fire group, it was almost impossible for a four-colored spirit fire to be born. The probability was very low. Similarly, in the fourth stellar fire group, most of the time only four-colored spirit fires were born, and the possibility of a five-colored spirit fire being born was also very low. Su Jianxing had been searching for a long time, but had not found a five-colored spirit fire. To obtain a five-colored spirit fire, he had to go deeper. According to him, for 100 billion kilometers from here, in the center of the 38th war zone, there was an enormous stellar fire group. Some called it the fifth stellar fire group, while others called it the source of the spirit fires. Some believed that all stellar fires were born from there. There was a high probability of a five-colored spirit fire being born there. However, it was very dangerous, and the 400 billion kilometers of void was a long journey. At Lin Moyu's full speed, it would take 160 days to reach. If there were any delays along the way, it could take up to 200 days. Lin Moyu did not tell Su Jianxing that he could artificially cultivate five-colored spirit fires. After all, they had just met, and although Su Jianxing gave him a good impression, Lin Moyu was not naive. So, Lin Moyu could only say,
"Take care."
Su Jianxing left decisively. After he left, Lin Moyu chose another direction and left the stellar fire group. When he left, he was not obstructed by the two fire rings. The two fire rings were like gatekeepers, allowing people to leave but not to enter. Lin Moyu flew farther and farther, heading towards the edge of the stellar fire group. He wanted to experiment and see if he could artificially cultivate a five-colored spirit fire. To artificially cultivate a five-colored spirit fire, he needed flashing fire. Flashing fire could be found at the edge, not necessarily within the stellar fire group. Moreover, he needed to be far enough and hidden enough. This way, even if he successfully cultivated a five-colored spirit fire, it wouldn't be discovered. If he could indeed artificially cultivate a five-colored spirit fire, he wouldn't need to compete with others and risk his life. Even if he had to fight, it wouldn't be now. Lin Moyu flew for half a day, completely leaving the stellar fire group and reaching the edge, nearly 500 million kilometers away from the two fire rings. It was very quiet here, with no disturbances from dark stars or flashing stars. Although the probability of flashing fire appearing was low, it was not impossible. Lin Moyu began to fly along the edge, holding the shell to search for flashing fire. The area covered by the stellar fire group was vast, with a radius of 500 million kilometers, forming a spherical region. Flying along the periphery in any direction would cover 3 billion kilometers, enough for Lin Moyu to fly for a whole day. The shell's sensing distance was only 500,000 kilometers, so Lin Moyu constantly changed positions, flying in circles. Finally, after 3 days, the shell reacted. The shell emitted a bright light, forming an arrow pointing in a direction. Lin Moyu immediately followed the direction and reached the designated location. The flashing fire had not yet appeared, so Lin Moyu took out a few stellar fires and placed them there. The stellar fires formed a light cluster, emitting light. The light would be transmitted to the stellar fire group in 30 minutes, potentially being discovered. Lin Moyu took out an array disk and activated the array, hiding the area. The array disk was one of his recent spoils of war, not very useful but good for hiding. Lin Moyu used it to block the light emitted by the stellar fires. He didn't expect to block it completely, just enough to obscure it a bit. After waiting for about half an hour, the flashing fire finally appeared. To be safe, Lin Moyu had already left the range of the flashing fire, leaving only a few stellar fires inside. He felt a flicker in the starry sky, and a spark flashed by. One of the stellar fires was hit by the flashing fire and mutated. It immediately absorbed the surrounding stellar fires, and Lin Moyu quickly took out more stellar fires for it to absorb. 1103 Chapter 1103. It's better not to let him survive. Having had previous experience, Lin Moyu was now more skilled and adept. He quickly and steadily provided stellar fire, and the stellar fire in front of him, which was undergoing mutation, was transforming into a top-grade stellar fire. The entire process was actually quite simple. The flashing fire acted as a catalyst, using its special power to induce mutation in ordinary stellar fire. After the mutation, as long as it could absorb enough stellar fire, it could sublimate and become a top-grade stellar fire. Depending on the amount of stellar fire absorbed, it could eventually become a 3-colored, 4-colored, or even 5-colored stellar fire. The requirements for 3-colored stellar fire were the simplest, needing only 100 stellar fires. For 4-colored, 200 ordinary stellar fires were needed. For 5-colored, 400 ordinary stellar fires were required. The quantity increased exponentially. If calculated, to cultivate a 6-colored stellar fire, 800 stellar fires would be needed. Lin Moyu pondered, what is the highest level of stellar fire? Is it possible to have 9-colored or even 10-colored stellar fire? If there is a chance in the future, he could try it. But for now, he focused on practicality, aiming to cultivate 5-colored stellar fire first. 3-colored stellar fire could not elevate planetary-level spells to stellar-level spells. 4-colored stellar fire could do it, but the possibility was not 100%. Some spells were too powerful for 4-colored stellar fire. 5-colored stellar fire was much more reliable. So Lin Moyu skipped the 4-colored stellar fire and directly cultivated 5-colored stellar fire. Since there was a better option, why settle for less, especially when he had the capability? After providing 200 stellar fires, the mutating stellar fire suddenly increased its absorption speed. Lin Moyu also increased the speed at which he provided stellar fire. The area covered by the stellar fire rapidly expanded, and the intense heat surged. The temperature quickly rose, exceeding tens of millions of degrees in an instant, and continued to rise. At this temperature, ordinary true gods would have to retreat, but Lin Moyu remained unfazed, continuing to provide a large amount of stellar fire.
The higher the grade of the stellar fire, the faster it forms. At this rate, it will be fully formed in a few hours.
Lin Moyu calculated in his mind and, to be safe, prepared more than 400 stellar fires, intending to use 500. After all, this was his first true attempt at artificial cultivation, so he was cautious. The mutating stellar fire emitted a peculiar aura, and its coverage area expanded beyond the range of the array disk. In the starry sky, a firelight appeared, carrying the aura and flying towards the stellar fire group. In half an hour, the strong ones in the stellar fire group might notice the anomaly here. However, it would take them some time to arrive, and according to Lin Moyu's calculations, he should have already taken the 5-colored stellar fire and left by then. Since the array disk could no longer conceal it, Lin Moyu simply removed it and openly continued the cultivation. After the number of stellar fires exceeded 400, the stellar fire mutated again, and its coverage area expanded to over 10,000 kilometers. The starry sky within a radius of 10,000 kilometers turned into a bright fireball. Anyone with a bit of sense would know that a top-grade stellar fire was forming here. Lin Moyu continued to provide stellar fire, but he gradually sensed that the stellar fire seemed to be reaching saturation and could no longer absorb more. Sensing this, Lin Moyu decisively stopped. In total, he had provided 451 stellar fires, which should be enough.
Why is this happening? Could it be related to the flashing fire?
Lin Moyu carefully recalled that along the way, both the flashing fire and the flashing star seemed to be getting stronger. Different flashing fires induced different mutations, and the upper limit they could bear seemed to vary. After analyzing, Lin Moyu concluded that flashing fires also had different levels. Different levels of flashing fires could induce different levels of stellar fire mutations. He remembered what Su Jianxing had said, that the naming of the stellar fire groups was not random but had deep meaning. Now it seemed to be true. In the fourth stellar fire group, only 4-colored stellar fires were born, with the limit being 5-colored stellar fires and no higher. Based on this, to cultivate 6-colored or even 7-colored stellar fires, he would have to go deeper and find more powerful flashing fires.
Previously, I thought it was simple, but every gain has its cost. The great world has its own laws and limitations. Nothing is easily obtained. Finding a method to artificially cultivate top-grade stellar fire is already a great fortune.
Lin Moyu adjusted his mindset, also warning himself not to be greedy. In many of the materials he had read, there were numerous examples of geniuses who perished due to greed. Ambition and the desire to win were necessary, but greed needed to be controlled. 2 hours later, the fire sea covering over 10,000 kilometers suddenly contracted. In less than 10 seconds, the fire sea had completely shrunk and disappeared without a trace. In front of him was only a stellar fire with a diameter of less than 100 meters. Red, orange, yellow, green, and blue 5 colors appeared in the stellar fire, dancing and flickering together. The 5 colors intertwined yet remained distinct. They combined and transformed into countless mesmerizing colors, incredibly beautiful. The 5-colored stellar fire was formed. At the moment the 5-colored stellar fire was formed, Lin Moyu let out a light shout, and his soul power surged, enveloping the stellar fire. He did not directly absorb the 5-colored stellar fire but intended to store it first. In the current environment, without anyone to protect him, it was not suitable to absorb the stellar fire. His soul power transformed into a giant hand, grasping the 5-colored stellar fire. Under the pressure of his soul power, the 5-colored stellar fire gradually shrank, eventually becoming a fist-sized ball. Using his soul world as a container, Lin Moyu directly stored the shrunken 5-colored stellar fire in his soul. Then, spreading his wings of the undead, he cut off all his aura and left immediately. He flew in the opposite direction of the stellar fire group, quickly leaving the range covered by the stellar fire group and entering the dark star region. He concealed his aura, moving like a ghost, flying at full speed. He left a faint space crack behind him, which swallowed all his aura, leaving no trace. Less than an hour after he left, several powerful figures appeared in the starry sky where the 5-colored stellar fire had been nurtured. They looked at the empty starry sky, sensing the residual aura.
Just now, a 5-colored stellar fire was born here. Unfortunately, someone got to it first. The aura hasn't completely dissipated. Strange, how could a top-grade stellar fire be born in this area, and a 5-colored one at that? The world is vast, and nothing is too strange. No matter what happens, it's not surprising. Since it has already been taken, it means it wasn't meant for us. We might as well look for that human boy. A genius has appeared among the humans. He must be eliminated. Indeed, a true god at the second stage reaching here is no ordinary genius. Such a person should not be allowed to survive. The human race cannot have another Xiao Zhantian.
The strong ones from different races discussed briefly and reached a preliminary consensus. They all believed that Lin Moyu should not be allowed to survive. 1104 1104. Chapter 1104. Enhancing fusion, transforming into a star. Geniuses are often envied, and being too much of a genius can even provoke the wrath of the heavens. Lin Moyu's presence made others wary, and Su Jianxing was right. Everyone here wanted to kill Lin Moyu. They did not want another genius to emerge from the human race. Ordinary geniuses were not a problem. Even those like Su Jianxing who could fight across realms were acceptable. Every powerful race had geniuses who could fight across realms. But Lin Moyu was different. He had reached this place at the second stage of the True God realm, indicating that he had already achieved the peak of the True God realm. Even if he couldn't fight across realms, he possessed the combat power of a peak True God. If Lin Moyu reached the third or fourth stage of the True God realm, he might be able to fight across realms. This was beyond the scope of an ordinary genius. Once, there was a genius like this named Xiao Zhantian, who ultimately saved the human race from the brink of destruction, pulling them back from the edge of annihilation. Under his leadership, the human race, having recovered, launched a bloody revenge. Over 200 races had attacked the human race back then, but now only a little over 100 remained. More than 100 races were completely wiped out from the great world, all because of Xiao Zhantian. Xiao Zhantian's actions told everyone in the great world that bullying the human race came with a price. If another figure like Xiao Zhantian emerged from the human race, how would the other races cope? To prevent this, the strong ones from several races reached a tacit understanding. If they saw Lin Moyu, they would kill him. Lin Moyu flew nearly 20 billion kilometers in the Dark Star region, then turned back into the stellar fire area. The Dark Star region, with its randomly flying dark stars, was not suitable for absorbing the five-colored spirit fire. After returning, Lin Moyu set up the array disk again, hiding his presence. He then began to absorb the five-colored spirit fire within his soul. Among his 5 spells, the fusion rate of gathering power had already reached 99%, just a step away from becoming a stellar-level spell. The fusion rates of Strong Soldier and Damage Transfer were both at 50%, halfway there. Corpse Explosion was at 40%, and Summon Skeleton King was at 30%, the lowest. Since entering the Great World, Gathering Power and Strong Soldier, 2 spells derived from the original runes, had rarely been used. Due to the limitations of his soul level, the effects of these 2 spells had become negligible. But their power was still undeniable. Lin Moyu believed that if they could evolve to the stellar level, they would once again become powerful. Just like when he was in the small world, these 2 spells, which were just skills at the time, had helped him countless times, allowing him to kill many strong enemies. However, after some thought, Lin Moyu did not choose them this time. Their origins were too powerful, derived from the essence blood of the original bird. Lin Moyu had researched the original bird, but due to access restrictions, there wasn't much information available. But he knew that the original bird was extremely powerful, far surpassing the divine sovereign. Some records even stated that the original bird was one of the primordial beings of the great world, possessing the primordial bloodline and the original power of the great world, making it incredibly strong. The original runes refined from its essence blood were naturally powerful. The spells derived from the original runes were equally strong. The stronger the spell, the harder it was to become a stellar-level spell. So Lin Moyu did not choose Strong Soldier and Gathering Power, fearing that the 5-colored spirit fire might not be strong enough to succeed. Among the remaining 3 spells, Lin Moyu chose Summon Skeleton King after careful consideration. He couldn't determine the relative strength and difficulty of the 3 spells. He chose Summon Skeleton King not based on difficulty but on the potential benefits after success. Lin Moyu always had high expectations for the 9-star spell system. Each additional star would significantly increase the spell's power. By then, the entire undead army would be collectively enhanced, and the Summon Skeleton God Generals would also become stronger through the fusion spell. Lin Moyu even believed that after the 9-star spell, the Skeleton God Generals might be able to challenge the Divine Kings one-on-one. As for the Skeleton King itself, before the appearance of the Skeleton God Generals, the Skeleton King was his strongest summon. Its strength was also determined by the skeletons. After transforming into a stellar-level spell, how strong would the Skeleton King become? After careful consideration, enhancing Summon Skeleton King offered the greatest benefits. His soul power surged, pushing the 5-colored spirit fire towards the spell planet of Summon Skeleton King. The soul world shook violently as the 5-colored spirit fire enveloped the spell planet of Summon Skeleton King. The spell planet began to spin wildly, emitting brilliant light. Compared to a spell star, a spell planet had many flaws. It wasn't ignited, couldn't emit light or heat, and couldn't bear the laws. Now, the 5-colored spirit fire entered it, becoming the fire seed of the planet, truly igniting it. Igniting the planet was the second chance. The first chance was when he transformed the skill into a spell, but Lin Moyu missed that opportunity. Now, he used the five-colored spirit fire to make up for it. The five-colored spirit fire seeped into the spell planet, gradually becoming its fire seed. But the fire seed needed fuel to burn, and soul power was the best fuel. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and a stream of soul power surged into the spell planet. Lin Moyu was very experienced in transforming spell stars. What he was doing now was something he was very familiar with. Soul power continuously poured in, and Lin Moyu could feel the spell planet of Summon Skeleton King growing stronger, with its fusion rate rapidly increasing. It began to boil and emit light.
It's almost done.
Lin Moyu silently chanted in his heart, unable to contain his excitement. The spell planet was transforming into a star, and his vision was about to be realized. The 9-star spell system was something few in the great world could achieve. More and more soul power poured in, and the spell planet grew brighter, with flames rising from it, burning fiercely. Lin Moyu, now at the second stage of the True God realm, had soul power many times stronger than before, more than enough to supply the transformation. Moreover, he had the talent tree, which could quickly replenish his soul power. Just like before, when Lin Moyu used the soul-cutting sword 4 times in a row, he could quickly use it a 5th and even a 6th time. The recovery speed of his soul power was astonishing. The amount of soul power injected had already surpassed what other spell stars required. Lin Moyu felt something strange, as if no matter how much soul power he injected, it was never enough, always falling short.
Could it be? Could it be that the 5-colored spirit fire is not enough?
Lin Moyu was shocked. Was his spell too high level and powerful, making even the 5-colored spirit fire insufficient? The light of the transforming spell planet suddenly dimmed, and its rotation slowed down.
Is it going to fail?
What should he do? He didn't have a 6-colored spirit fire on hand. Would this attempt end in failure? If it failed once, the difficulty of the second attempt would increase significantly. Even a 6-colored spirit fire might not be enough. Each failure would greatly increase the difficulty of the next attempt, making it harder and harder until it became impossible. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he saw the not yet fully formed stellar fire seed.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
The branches of the talent tree moved, picking up the stellar fire seed and sending it to the spell planet of Summon Skeleton King. 1105 1105. Chapter 1105. 9-star spell Soul Purple Light. Lin Moyu forcefully inserted the stellar fire seed into the spell planet. His method was somewhat violent but very effective. The fire seed was nurtured by the star, and the stellar essence fire was the core of the star. Both originated from the same source, so Lin Moyu didn't have to worry about any conflict between them. As he expected, the two quickly fused together. With the help of the 5-colored essence fire, the stellar fire seed was instantly restored and fully formed. The stellar fire seed had the effect of sublimating the spell planet, and its effect was very powerful, even stronger than the 5-colored essence fire. Its addition caused the originally failing sublimation to restart. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity and poured his soul power into it without regard for the cost. A vast amount of soul power surged in, combining with the power of the 5-colored essence fire and the stellar fire seed, working together. Boom! The spell planet exploded. Lin Moyu's attention was entirely focused on the spell planet. At the moment of the explosion, a tiny black hole appeared. Luo Chenquan had told him that a star was not the ultimate form. There were also neutron stars and even black holes. Perhaps the black hole was the ultimate form of the spell. Lin Moyu seemed to understand the significance of the black hole's existence. As the star sublimated and exploded, the black hole appeared, as if to tell him in advance that this was the strongest form of the spell. The path is long, and comrades still need to work hard. Lin Moyu focused on the black hole, observing the scene within it. The time was only half a second, very precious. In this half second, how much he could gain depended entirely on himself. Through the black hole, Lin Moyu saw a trace of pure white light. In the distance, he saw a rune. A vast, ancient, majestic, and terrifying giant rune. He had seen the scene behind the black hole before and had also seen a giant rune. A giant world rune covered with cracks. Seeing it again now, the cracks were still there, unchanged. Outside it, countless tiny runes existed. Then the scene collapsed and his consciousness returned. Half a second was too short to see clearly. Lin Moyu was helpless about this. In the end, it was because his strength was not enough. But thinking about it, even at the level of Antares, after seeing the black hole so many times, the gains were not particularly significant. It was obviously very difficult to gain something from it. Lin Moyu sighed, let go of his obsession, and stopped thinking about it. There would always be opportunities in the future. He refocused on the spell star that was rising again. Summon Skeleton King had transformed from a spell planet into a spell star, and its fusion rate increased to 110%, bearing the power of the laws. After the transformation, it left its original position and flew towards the multi-star summoning spells. Lin Moyu felt a surge of excitement.
9-star spell!
It was done, truly done. The 9-star spell was finally completed at this moment. With the addition of the Summon Skeleton King spell star, the 9-star spell truly took shape. The soul world roared, and a vast power surged from the 9-star spell. 9 summoning spell stars connected, absorbing and linking with each other, forming a whole. From a distance, the 9 stars had already fused together, indistinguishable from each other. They released a vast amount of soul power, sweeping through the entire soul world. The soul world expanded several times, and the talent tree swayed and grew wildly. The quality of the soul rapidly improved, and the soul body became crystal clear, originally jade-like, holy, and transparent. At this moment, the 9 stars simultaneously shot a beam of light onto Lin Moyu's soul. The soul suddenly opened its eyes, and its aura surged. A trace of purple light emerged from the depths of the soul. Although it was just a faint purple light, it had a completely different significance. In the human world, there are phrases like,
Purple air comes from the east.
and
Great success.
purple represents nobility. Once purple appears in the soul, even if it's just a trace, it has extraordinary significance. This indicated that Lin Moyu's soul had reached the peak of the 4th grade and was qualified to advance to the 5th grade. Many divine sovereigns had souls that had long reached the peak of the 4th grade. But because they couldn't give birth to purple in their souls, they could only stop at the divine sovereign realm, unable to advance further. The soul is the foundation of advancement. Without sufficient soul quality, one can never advance. The appearance of purple in Lin Moyu's soul indicated that he had not only reached the peak of the 4th grade, but also had the qualification to continue advancing. The formation of the 9-star spell greatly enhanced the undead army. Lin Moyu found that the 9 spell stars had grown larger and more solid. With increased size, they could accommodate more undead. Indeed, when Lin Moyu's mind moved, he summoned a skeleton god warrior. Then, the 9-star spell linkage began, and skeletons, death knights, and skeletal dragons surged out. The number of the undead army began to increase wildly. Not only did the number increase, but their combat power also became stronger. The skeleton god warrior, which appeared to be only at the 2nd stage of the true god realm, had combat power that could rival the 6th stage of the true god realm. Death knights were equivalent to the 7th stage of the true god realm, and skeletal dragons could compete with the 8th stage. If calculated, death dragon knights would be equivalent to the 9th stage of the true god realm, and skeleton god generals would at least be at the peak of the true god realm, possibly even able to fight across realms. The 9-star spell, it was truly too powerful. Lin Moyu clenched his fists, feeling the immense power of the 9-star spell. It was not just a quantitative change but a qualitative one. He then looked at the Summon Skeleton King spell star to check its information. Summon Skeleton King, fusion rate 110% summons the Skeleton King by fusing the power of skeletons. A minimum of 1 million skeletons is required for fusion, and a maximum of 10 million skeletons can be fused. Summoning the Skeleton King will not cause the skeletons to disappear or weaken their power. The minimum requirement was to fuse the power of 1 million skeletons, and the maximum could gather the power of 10 million skeletons. Lin Moyu thought of the skeleton god general. Just combining the skeleton god warrior, skeleton god mage, and skeleton soul archer into one had extreme combat power. How strong would the skeleton king be if it fused the power of 1,000,000 skeletons? Of course, he knew it couldn't be calculated this way. The fusion spell was powerful because of the support of the infinite fusion spell. It involved the mysterious and unpredictable laws of chaos. The power of the Summon Skeleton King spell couldn't be calculated this way, but Lin Moyu believed that the combat power of the Skeleton King should surpass that of the Skeleton God General, becoming his strongest combat power.
Fighting across realms is definitely not a problem. It might even be able to kill a divine king.
Lin Moyu's idea of killing a divine king was not about killing one here. It was about doing it in an area without suppression. He believed that the Skeleton King had this combat power. The 9-star spell linkage continued, and more skeletons were summoned, densely packed in the starry sky, forming an undead army with great momentum. The summoning continued for several hours before finally ending. The 3 basic types of skeletons each reached 3 million, totaling 9 million. The Lich Generals and Death Knights reached 1 million, and the number of skeletal dragons summoned reached 500,000. The upper limit of resurrected ones reached 2 million. This meant that Lin Moyu could summon up to 9 skeleton kings or gather all the power to summon 1 skeleton king warrior. 1106. Chapter 1106. The Battle Power of the Skeleton King. Yu Qingru seeks help. The increase in the number of the undead army also meant an increase in the number of Death Knights and Skeleton God Generals, along with the appearance of the Skeleton King. Lin Moyu's basic and advanced combat power had become much stronger than before. As a necromancer, summoning spells were always his foundation. No matter how powerful other spells were, summoning spells always had a place. After putting away the undead army, Lin Moyu prepared to test the strength of the Skeleton King. Suddenly, he frowned slightly as someone was rapidly approaching him. The figure was glowing white, still hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, but the strong wind had already reached him. The laws brought up a fierce wind, sweeping through the starry sky.
White Tiger!
It was the divine king of the White Tiger clan. Lin Moyu knew that his undead army had attracted its attention. The commotion caused by summoning the undead army was not small, so it was normal to be noticed.
I found you!
The White Tiger's voice was filled with killing intent. Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. It was clear that the White Tiger was here to kill him. The White Tiger's killing intent filled the starry sky. The White Tiger's voice came again.
Don't think about escaping. Here, my power is suppressed, but outside, I am a true divine king.
Lin Moyu understood that the White Tiger was telling him that escaping was useless. Once they left the area covered by the stellar essence fire, without the suppression of the great world's laws, the White Tiger would be a true divine king. A divine king dealing with a true god would be like playing. However, Lin Moyu didn't seem to have any intention of escaping.
Just in time to use you to test the battle power of the Skeleton King. How many skeletons should I use?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment and decided to use his full strength to be safe. Summon Skeleton King can fuse the power of up to 10 million skeletons. But he didn't have that many skeletons at the moment. The 3 types of skeletons combined totaled only 9 million. So he would use 9 million. Lin Moyu lightly tapped his finger, and after many years, he finally used Summon Skeleton King again. 9-star spell. Summon Skeleton King. A strong wind arose, and the temperature dropped sharply. Above Lin Moyu's head, a giant throne with a diameter of over 100 kilometers appeared. The throne was adorned with countless skeleton carvings, incredibly exquisite. After the throne appeared, it burst into flames with a roar. Silver-white flames enveloped the throne, and within the flames, the figure of the Skeleton King appeared. The Skeleton King held a sword in one hand and rose from the throne. The Skeleton King, which gathered the power of 9 million skeletons, stood over 10,000 meters tall, glowing with a silver-white light, reflecting the flames of the throne. Behind it was a huge bone cloak, fluttering in the wind. The sword in its hand was enormous, not particularly sharp, but just looking at it made one's skin ache. The laws of immortality emerged from its body, transforming into a divine dragon of laws, coiling and roaring around it.
What is this?
The white tiger was startled by the sudden appearance of the Skeleton King, but it noticed that the Skeleton King's aura was only at the second stage of the true god realm. Not a big deal. The white tiger mocked itself for being timid and sneered.
Don't think that being big makes you powerful. Even if you create a star, it won't help.
The Skeleton King's aura was indeed only at the second stage of the true god realm, because Lin Moyu's realm was only at the second stage of the true god realm. But aura does not represent battle power. When needed, it would naturally explode. For example, now, Lin Moyu did not answer the white tiger, just moved his thoughts and issued the command to kill. The Skeleton King raised its bone sword, which was thousands of meters long. Spell: Godslaying. This was a spell Lin Moyu hadn't seen in years. After the Skeleton King became a stellar-level spell, it had only one spell left: Godslaying. The number of spells decreased, but their power increased, and the cooldown time disappeared, allowing continuous use. There were gains and losses. The Skeleton King gave up defense in exchange for extreme attack power. Not only the Skeleton King but the entire undead army was like this. As the God-slaying spell was cast, the Skeleton King's aura instantly rose to its peak, exploding in the starry sky. It was not at the second stage of the True God realm but at the peak of the True God realm. Lin Moyu knew that it was actually beyond the peak of the True God realm. Due to the suppression of the Great World's laws, its realm could only reach the peak. But its attack power was far beyond that, easily crossing realms. The white tiger was also startled by the sudden surge in the Skeleton King's aura, then saw the sword light flash before its eyes. A sword light flashed across its body and flew into the distance. The white tiger's eyes dimmed, its massive body maintaining a forward-charging posture, then disintegrated in mid-air. The Skeleton King's God-slaying spell killed the Divine King, shattered its body, and annihilated its soul. Cross-realm combat was indeed easy.
This is the power a 9-star spell should have.
Lin Moyu was very satisfied, smiling as he put away the Skeleton King and collected the white tiger's remains. This was the body of a divine king. Although its realm was suppressed to the 9th stage of the True God realm here, its power was still at the divine king level. Using it for corpse explosion would be much more powerful than using the bodies of 9th stage true gods. Lin Moyu wouldn't mind having more of such bodies, the more the better. He wondered if he should actively seek out and eliminate those who wanted to kill him. These guys had been here for many years and were quite wealthy. Killing them would yield considerable rewards. His waist felt slightly warm, and when he looked down, he saw that the shell given to him by Yuchingru was glowing. The light did not form an arrow, indicating that there was no flashing star or flashing fire. Lin Moyu curiously picked up the shell, and Yuchingru's voice came from it.
Help me.
Yuchingru's voice was as clear as ever. Lin Moyu didn't ask why.
Location.
The light from the shell grew brighter, eventually forming an arrow pointing the way. Lin Moyu spread his undead wings and flew at full speed. He knew that Yuchingru must be in trouble. Otherwise, with her personality, she wouldn't ask him for help. She said,
Help me.
Not.
Save me.
So the problem shouldn't be too serious. The distance wasn't too far, about 300 million kilometers. In less than 3 hours, Lin Moyu arrived at the location indicated by the shell. The aura of laws fluctuated, and Lin Moyu saw 3 people launching a fierce attack on Yuchingru. The 3 were from the Silver Snake, Silver Heron, and Silver Dog clans. Lin Moyu knew these 3 races, collectively known as the 3 Silver Clans in the Great World. Their territories were adjacent, and they were allies advancing and retreating together. Yuchingru was enveloped in a light blue sphere, blocking the attacks of the 3, unable to harm her. Through the sphere, Yuchingru seemed to be in poor condition, possibly injured. Otherwise, with her strength, These three shouldn't be able to stop her. Lin Moyu's arrival caught the attention of the three.
It's you, you've come to die. We couldn't find you anywhere, and now you've come here. Truly a double blessing.
Two of the three turned their attacks towards Lin Moyu.
Come in.
Yu Qingru shouted, and a gap appeared in the light sphere. Lin Moyu flapped his undead wings, breaking the soul lock, and shot into the gap like a meteor. 1107 1107